This is America's oldest city, St. Augustine, Florida, and right out there in early summer, some of the best fishing on the East Coast occurs in the month of June. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Captain Sailfish McCray, and I've got nearly 100 weekend warriors who have gathered here on Florida's historic coast for a weekend of fishing, food, and fun. We call it the Nuts and Bolts Fishing Fest. You guys ready to go do some catching? Me too. This episode's kicking off right now.
A nice big sailfish. Took me about 28 minutes or so to land it. Got into the boat with Steve's help and everybody else on the crew. Great experience.
All right, doubled up again. Good job, boys.
Ooh, look at that.
That's actually a good fish.
That's a really nice fish.
Caught a big, couple big kings, and one we hope may take home the winner. I'm not going to say how much it weighs, but we'll see here shortly.
The day was fantastic. I think I had the first fish in the boat and second to the last fish in the boat, and it was just gorgeous all day long.
Ooh, God, look at that. Look at the size of this snapper, guys. He won't even fit in the net. Oh, wow. Woo, he's burning it.
Get you some of that.
Sharks in the water everywhere.
There he is. Woo! Get him, son, get him! That's what I'm talking about.
There he goes.
Here he comes, here he comes. Yeah, look at that!
Yeah, he's on there. Yeah!
Yeah, baby.
Oh, look at him! Oh my God! It's an awesome fish. If he moves, I'm going to scream.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It has been a great crappie day.
Absolutely.
It's magnificent!
Nuts and bolts fishing, baby?
Is a man right
All
there.
right.
The Nuts and Bolts of Fishing is brought to you by Crevalle Boats. Family-friendly boats focused on reliability, durability, and excellence in design. Get what you want with Crevalle. Honda Marine. Superior performance, better technology. Honda Marine, the power of boating. Scotty Fishing. Leading the way with high-performance downriggers, rod holders, and fishing accessories. Scotty, the way to fish. Simrad. The leader in marine navigation for over 60 years. Simrad, go with confidence. Gamakatsu, the world's best fishing hooks, period. And by SiriusXM Marine Weather, contemporary weather radar and storm information displayed right on your chart plotter.
The weather is great, the fish are biting, and there's so much to discover here on Florida's historic coast. From pirates' treasures to beautiful beaches. And we'll kick off a weekend of fishing, food, and fun at the Spring Fishing Fest from St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra when the Nuts and Bolts of Fishing returns.
That's a better little fish.
In the boat, man.
Spend more time on the water this boating season with an incredibly reliable Honda outboard. Inspired by Honda's legendary automotive technology, Honda outboards offer the kind of power, reliability, and fuel efficiency you'd expect from the world's largest engine manufacturer. Whether you're thinking about a new boat or just repowering, you owe it to yourself to look at Honda. See your local Honda Marine dealer or visit us online today. Honda Marine, the power of boating.
Hi fishermen, Captain Cephas here, and as a charter guide and tournament angler, the gear on my boat has to be rugged, reliable, and perform flawlessly in both fresh and saltwater environments. And that's why I trust Scotty Fishing products to help me put more fish in the boat. Scotty downriggers are built to handle harsh conditions and big fish day after day, whether I'm fishing in deep mountain lakes or the blue waters offshore. The digital counter lets me set my rigs precisely in the strike zone. And when the bite is on, Scotty's one-button auto-stop ball retrieve system brings the weight up and out of the way with the fastest retrieve speeds in the industry. And it parks the ball just below the water's surface so there's no damage to my boat from a swinging weight. If you're not fishing the entire water column, you're probably missing a lot of fish. So put your baits where the fish are. Go deep and go big with Scotty, the way to fish.
There he is.
Whoa, look at that.
There he is. How about that?
There he is.
Get you some of that.
That is a man right there. Welcome to the Nuts and Bolts Fishing Fest here from St. Augustine, Florida. We have a wonderful weekend of fishing, food, and fun planned for everybody. The Spring Fishing Fest kicked off with the Thursday night welcome banquet hosted by our off-the-water headquarters, the Guy Harvey St. Augustine Beach Resort. Enthusiastic attendees made their way through the resort and received their goodie bags, signed the event paddles, and dreamed of taking home one of the Kahuna Awards for biggest inshore and offshore fish. In the courtyard, a brief rain shower didn't dampen the excitement for the Wet Sounds casting contest. Competitors had 5 shots to make as many hole-in-ones as possible. And after several elimination rounds, it came down to a sudden death cast-off between Rick McDougal and Cindy Thompson. This girl can cast. Cindy's cast hit the mark, making her the spring casting champion and proud owner of a Wet Sounds Shiver Cooler.
Yes!
Cindy Thompson just whooped all the guys out here and won this awesome Wet Sounds Shiver Cooler. We gave away a lot of other cool gifts at the banquet. The big hits were 2 Coach's custom fishing rods made with Bushido blanks and microwave guides. Rick McDougal redeemed his loss at the casting contest by winning both fishing rods. But what made this evening so special was the opportunity for Fishing Fest attendees to reconnect with friends they had made over the years and make new friends of the folks who were attending for the first time. We call Fishing Fest freshmen. As summer dawned on the beaches of St. Augustine, Florida, over 100 Fishing Fest fans gathered at Comanche Cove Marina for a weekend of fishing, food, and fun.
Who's got Captain Keith Shank? Keith, raise your hand.
Our eager anglers were greeted by local charter guides ready to embark on an adventure to test their fishing skills with a plethora of piscatorial foes that inhabit the waters off Florida's historic coast.
St. Augustine, Florida, let's go catch it!
Yes!
The Matrix board revealed the fishing teams for the day, and then a procession of over 20 boats left the Marina Basin, all headed to offshore destinations where king mackerel, bonita, barracuda, cobia, and migrating sailfish congregate to feast on large schools of baitfish just a few miles off the beach.
The first stop for the fleet was to fill their live wells with bait, and the forage fish of choice this time of year is pogies.
Now, before you head offshore, it's always a good idea to spend the time that you need to catch bait, because lively, frisky baits can make the difference between a day of fishing and a day of catching. So if you need to spend 30 or 45 minutes running the bait pods, throwing a cast net, and filling your live well, it's time well spent. A big net full of pogies equals a big fish box when you get offshore. And that's a Nuts and Bolts tip.
With their live wells full, each of our teams made their way to a spot about 6 miles east of the inlet, a large reef line running north to south. Now this area holds a lot of bait, and where there's bait, there's gonna be game fish.
Hey, how y'all doing? Captain Sailfish here. It is day one of the Nuts and Bolts Fishing Fest from St. Augustine, Florida, and I've got my great buddy, Captain Scott Shank here, Full House Charters. We're out on the wide open 2 today, kind of just bouncing around looking at all these weekend warriors that are absolutely wearing the fish out.
It's funny your boat name's Wide Open and the bite is nothing
The
but
bite
white
is
open.
off the chain. It is wide open. Now, Scott, we're here about 4 miles off the beach,
Yes, sir.
St. Augustine. It's the early part of the summer. The Kings are moving up from South Florida along the coast here, and this is one of their kitchens, one of their stopping points where they'll hang out. Now, a lot of the fish will hang here all summer long.
All summer long. This will be kind of a mainstay for us in the summertime and stuff. We're going to be in here a lot. A lot of big fish will move in here. Once we probably get to the next full moon here in June, we'll start seeing a really big influx. They just started catching some really big, we call them roe fish, or the big female fish on the beach, which again, we're not that far away from here.
Sure.
A week ago today, I caught one that was 44 pounds right from here.
Right.
And that would have won pretty much any kingfish tournament around.
Absolutely, that'd be a money fish. So the Kings that are here, they're here because the food source is here. And you know, a lot of folks will look at least I do, I look at a couple of things. Big game fish are going to look for 3 things. They're going to look for food, comfort, and safety.
Correct.
And when you're at the top of the food chain, safety kind of goes down in your category. So you're looking for comfortable places to be, that is oxygen rich, the right water temperature, and then you're looking for food sources. Now, for me, I'm thinking kingfish water is going to be in that upper 60s to mid 70s temperature, but the water temperature here right now, today, it's jumped up, it's 80 degrees.
80 degrees.
So in that case, food trumps comfort.
Comfort, correct. And first thing in the morning like this, if we watch most of the boats have been catching all their fish up top. As the sun comes up later on in the day, it's 9:30 in the morning, I guess, right now, and those fish will start working deep. So you'll start watching these guys start fishing more and more downriggers, staggering their baits anywhere from 15 to 35 feet.
Right, and you know something, guys, whenever you're out fishing for kings, and a lot of times you'll catch cobia out here, you can catch sailfish, you'll catch bonita, a wide variety, but if you don't have baits down deep, if you're not working a downrigger down 30, 40, even 50 feet deep, then you're leaving a lot of fish in the ocean.
Yes.
And sometimes those will be the bigger fish.
Bigger fish.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes that you just can't get out more than 2 lines without it. It just pure pandemonium unless you got a good crew.
I know we came out here and fished a couple of days ago, just doing a little scouting, and we put out we were planning to put out 4 lines. And a lot of times we'd only get 1 or 2 out before we had a fish on.
Yep.
It's that crazy. I mean, and sometimes it's just pandemonium. And I like that.
I like that too. The radio keeps going off saying hooked up, hooked up,
we're
hooked up.
hooked up. All right,
guess
you guys stick around. We're going to go catch up with some of these weekend warriors and some of St. Augustine's finest charter guides that are taking these guys out for a couple of days on the water. Stick around. There's more Nuts and Bolts coming up right after this.
Trust is a quality that's earned over time, through our greatest triumphs and humble defeats. It's built on dependability, extraordinary strength, and true confidence. At the end of a long but epic day, trust is about being able to deliver on promises time after time. Built to last, made to work. Trust Scotty.
So, you want this, but you can't have it without this, or this, or this. Until now, introducing a new way to travel, intranationally. Get all that international charm without ever leaving the country. Right here in St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Get all that culture, all the cuisine from that culture. You're welcome. All the gram-worthy sights from that #culture. Right here at home. St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Travel intranationally.
Day one of the Spring Fishing Fest from Florida's historic coast is off to a fantastic start. Our teams of weekend warriors, some coming from as far away as Arizona and Minnesota, have had screaming drags all morning. Now, while king mackerel have been the primary target, other denizens of the deep, like bonita and barracuda, have also been eager to stretch a string. On board Captain Richard Bloom's boat, a gang of guys from Georgia have had their hands full, usually with 2 or more fish on at the same time. According to Captain Richard, one of his secrets to bringing big fish to the boat is by chumming, using chopped up pogies to put out a scent trail that big fish can't resist. But one member of the team didn't quite fully have his sea legs first thing this morning.
You all right?
R.J. Sweeney, a Fishing Fest frequent flyer, helped ring the dinner bell for the fish this morning by doing a little chumming of his own.
Oh, chumming.
R.J. rebounded quickly and didn't waste any time getting back in the action.
There we go.
Captain Richard kept his crew busy all day long, and just like many other boats in the fleet,
There we go.
having 2 or more fish on at the same time was a common occurrence. And when that happens, it's easy to get lines tangled when the kings make long runs. The solution is to do what's known as the cockpit shuffle, moving anglers and lines around as the fish make runs at different angles. Eventually, through the efforts of this well-coordinated team, they produced a nice box of mackerel and some really tasty kingfish steaks for dinner. As the sun got higher in the sky, the fish that were cruising close to the surface moved deeper in the water column, so the fishing teams modified their tactics to get bait down deep using downriggers. And not to be left out, Captain Scott Shank and I did the same thing on the wide open too. Using Scotty downriggers, we placed baits at 25 feet, and it only took a few moments to prove we had entered the strike zone.
Downrigger. There's downrigger bite.
Now, normally our amazing cameraman, John Dirk, would be filming the action, but this time I picked up the camera and let Johnny wrestle the king to the boat. That didn't take long.
That's off the old Scotty downrigger.
Yep. Ooh, look at that.
That's actually a good fish.
That's a really nice fish. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Nicely done, Johnny.
Nice fish.
Just a few hundred yards away, Captain Chris Worth and his team of avid anglers were trolling the edge of the reef when a Mondo King took a deep bait. Sean Warner soon discovered he was connected to a feisty finned foe, and after several long runs, brought the fish to the gap and became a contender for the Offshore Kahuna Award at the docks that afternoon.
This is the biggest kingfish I've ever caught. This thing is incredible. Always happy. I would have been happy with the other smaller king I caught. This is just icing on the cake.
Over 20 boats left the marina this morning, some with charter guides at the helm, and some commanded by weekend warriors who brought their own boats. And today, All of them were rewarded with fish for their coolers or simply the adrenaline-charged excitement of the fight and then releasing the fish to fight again another day. There's an old saying, some days you go fishing and some days you go catching. And on this first day of the Spring Fishing Fest from St. Augustine, Florida, everyone went catching. If you thought this adventure was a lot of fun, well, you'd be right. Now here's a way that you can come fish with me and the rest of the gang. It's the Nuts and Bolts Fishing Fest.
Oh, yeah! Wahoo!
Oh, there we go. There it is. Beautiful. That is amazing.
What a fish!
Twice each year, we gather together at great destinations for a weekend of food, fun, and fishing.
That's what I'm talking about.
And if you don't have a boat, well, that's not a problem. We enlist the help of an elite group of charter guides from the area who know where the fish are and how to catch them.
Get him! Get him! Get him on!
That's what we came to do down here.
It was great.
Fishing is like the best thing ever.
The Nuts and Bolts Fishing Fest is fun for the entire family, and it's easy to come join in on the festivities. Just look for the registration forms on the Nuts and Bolts of Fishing website to find out where the next Fishing Fest will be. Now, this is one fishing trip you don't want to miss. I'll see you there.
We love Fishing Fest!
After the show, catch more fun on the Nuts and Bolts website, where you'll find video pro tips to help you put more fish in the boat, great recipes from the Nuts and Bolts chefs, and you can sign up for our newsletter to get discounts on tackle, apparel, boating accessories, and more in the Nuts and Bolts online store. You can also register to attend the next Fishing Fest, a weekend of fishing, food, and fun where you'll discover a fantastic fishing destination and make new friends on the water. nutsandboltsfishing.com, your one-stop shop for great gear and awesome adventures. Fishing Fest events aren't just about fishing. They're about making new friends and discovering a new fishy destination. And in this case, St. Augustine was the perfect place to be. The area is steeped in history with plenty to explore. Like Castillo de San Marcos, now a national monument, it's the oldest masonry fort in the continental U.S. You can take a trolley tour through the historic district and hop off to experience unique shops, great restaurants, a long list of attractions, and of course, one of the most notable destinations in the city, the Fountain of Youth. There's lots to discover in St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra. It's easy to start planning your own adventure to Florida's historic coast. Just check out their website, floridashistoriccoast.com. Captain Cephas here, and I've got a question for you. Do you like to go fishing, or would you rather go catching? Well, if you want to go fishing, just tie on anything in your tackle bag. But if you want to go catching, tie on a whoop-ass jig. You know, jigs have been proven to be one of the most effective baits you can throw, and only whoop-ass jigs have premium bucktail and a head design that imparts great action in the water. So quit fishing and start catching. Tie on a whoop-ass jig.
So you love to fish the salt. You love the sound of a screaming drag, battling with a bonefish, a cobia, or a tuna. It's in your blood. You don't go fishing, you go catching. And what makes you a saltwater Superman is ESCA. ESCA lure lights trigger natural predator instincts, so game fish bite hard and don't let go. And it's powered by saltwater. Yeah, that's high-tech fishing. Add an ESCA to your lure natural bait and catch more fish. We guarantee it. Get the light that makes fish bite. Get an ESCA.
Hi gang, Captain Cephas here. Are you ready to go fishing? I know I am, and now you can have a fun day on the water with me or one of the Nuts and Bolts pros. And Wide Open Outfitters is your online resource for an awesome fishing adventure. Just go to nutsandboltsfishing.com and click on the Let's Go Fishing link to select your favorite destination. Whether you want to target stripers and bass on a Georgia lake or fish for speckled trout and redfish in the coastal backwaters of the Gulf or Atlantic, Wide Open Outfitters can get you hooked up. If you want to experience the thrill of blue water fishing for trophy billfish, grouper, snapper, and more, Wide Open Outfitters offers offshore packages in both the U.S. and the Caribbean. So what are you waiting for? Check out all the fish catching possibilities from Wide Open Outfitters at nutsandboltsfishing.com, where the fish are always biting. As day one came to a close, the teams gathered at Comanche Cove Marina to swap stories and see the fish that would be the top contenders for the Kahuna Awards.
Whoa, dude.
The downrigger took off, and we fought it, and we were going to let him go. We knew it was a big fish. We were going to try to do the measurement and deal and let him in, let him go. And when we saw the shark bites out of him, we knew he was going to survive. So we went and gapped it and brought it in.
This is the biggest one I caught. And of course, it's bigger than my brother caught while I was on the boat at the same time. So it was an awesome day.
Oh, it was fun. I'm glad I decided to go offshore.
It's getting kind of. Come on, are you through?
Yeah.
It's getting kind of heavy.
That fish took us probably 45 minutes to get in the boat. He was something else. He was pulling and pulling. We thought we just had to follow him for a while. We had to chase him, run him down. Finally, he got tired, and he got to come home.
Next week, it's more fishing, food, and fun from Florida's historic coast as we bring you all the action from day 2 of the Spring Fishing Fest. And if this looks like a lot of fun, well, it is. So check out nutsandboltsfishing.com for information on how you can be a part of the next Fishing Fest. Everybody had a good time this weekend? That's what I'm talking about. So from all of us to all of you out there, we'd love to invite you to come join us in the next Nuts and Bolts Fishing Fest.
See you there.